There is nowhere I feel safe. Nowhere. After Ruby Freeman from Georgia was falsely accused of voter fraud by President Trump, she and her daughter, both election workers, were subjected to a barrage of threats and racism. Their testimony before a committee of Congress added to the picture of real-life intimidation against state and local workers charged with ensuring a fair election, as our Washington correspondent Siobhan Kennedy reports.
The President of the United States is supposed to represent every American, not to target one.
And yet that's precisely what Donald Trump did. Accuse this woman, Ruby Freeman, and her daughter of pulling fraudulent pro-Biden ballots from a suitcase in Georgia on election night in 2020.
The Ruby Freeman, she's a vote scammer, a professional vote scammer and hustler.
No fraud was ever found, but these poll workers say that Trump's relentless attacks on them has ruined their lives.
I've gained about 60 pounds. I just don't do nothing anymore. I don't want to go anywhere. I second guess everything that I do. It's affecting my life in a major way.
The committee also heard from a Republican election official from Arizona who described a phone call with President Trump and his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, where they claimed thousands of votes had been cast illegally.
He said that they did have proof, and I asked him, do you have names? Will you give them to me? The president interrupted and said, give the man what he needs.
Did you ever receive from him that evidence either during the call, after the call, or to this day?
Never.
Later, Giuliani allegedly let this slip.
He said, we've got lots of theories, we just don't have the evidence.
Despite that, they urged him to overturn Biden's win. But the official, remember, he's a pro-Trump Republican, refused.
And I said, you're asking me to do something that's never been done in history, the history of the United States. You're asking me to do something against my oath, and I will not break my oath.
But the truth is, for many Republican congressmen, their oath, despite it all, is still to Donald Trump.
The committee hearings, has anything that you've heard persuaded you from your loyalty for Donald Trump?
Well, like most Americans, I'm not watching them, and I fully support Donald Trump. I hope he runs for president again, and if he does, I'll actively be campaigning for him.
But hearing all those Republicans say he was told that the election wasn't stolen, that the various schemes that he had to try and win back power were not going to work.
Well, just because
it's been Republicans saying that in the committee, not Democrats.
Yeah, well, not all Republicans are right all the time.
But this one was, in refusing Trump's demands to overturn the election in Georgia.
We just followed the law and we followed the Constitution. And at the end of the day, President Trump came up short.
The committee wants to show just how close America came to losing its democracy on January the 6th. But for a handful of brave election officials, the question is, will any of this make any difference? Or will Trump simply be free to run again as if it never happened?